I think it's organized in a very timely moment, and it's a great pleasure for me to speak here. First, I'm very glad to announce that EU enlargement is back again. We have used the argument and then used quite frequently the sentence that the EU enlargement policy has been the most successful policy of the European Union. And it's absolutely true. But now I hope very much that we can put it back into practice again. Because before 2020, there was kind of fatigue on both sides. So countries in Western Balkans didn't believe that they can get into the European Union, and also in Brussels there was not so much enthusiasm by that time. But the process continued. Now, since 2022, this enlargement policy is really back. And it's not back because all those achievements which have been done in the region here, but this is back thanks to Vladimir Putin and this aggression towards Ukraine. And if I say that, I know that immediately there is a question whether you need a war here in this region. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. But what is happening at the moment, Ukraine is the first one to move forward. There is a huge support for Ukraine in the capitals of the European Union, and it helps also very much to move forward with the countries of Western Balkans. So this EU door is opened at the moment and very widely opened. Some people argue that this enlargement policy is back and this is very geopolitical. I'm not going to contest this argument, but even if it's so, there are no shortcuts. Rule of law and common foreign and security policy are must for all those countries who want to join the European Union. So rule of law has been the key of the enlargement policy for the years. And also, with common foreign and security policy, we see who are supporting European Union in those very difficult days. And we see also who are not so enthusiastically supporting us in this moment. Kosovo is very specific, and more than 90% of people of Kosovo, they support the membership in the European Union. Means that this support for us is bigger than the support to most of the parties in Kosovo altogether. And what is my conclusion? That this 90+% of the support to the European Union puts a huge responsibility on the shoulders of the politicians here, but also on our side, of course. I remember well the enlargement 2004, and from my position where I'm representing 27 countries, I still cannot forget that I'm coming from a very small country, Estonia. And when 1997, 6 countries were invited to negotiate with European Union, then international press mentioned only Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary. Estonia was nowhere, and sorry to say if my Slovenian colleagues are here, nowhere, no Cyprus either. And it made it clear for us not to be forgotten, we have to be at least as good as Poland, or trying to be even a bit better. And I think it worked quite well. Today, I'm here representing European Union, but just to remind you, coming from nowhere, from the Soviet occupation, when there were very few people at the end of the 90s believing that my country can become independent again, that we may become a member of the European Union, NATO. Today we are there, one of the most integrated countries in the European Union and NATO, having Schengen, having Euro, everything, plus Estonia in top of all democracy indexes in top 10. Just to remind, Media Freedom Index, #1 in the European Union, #2 in the world. So it's a good example that things can be done if there is political will. Now, Kosovo is very specific. Unfortunately, 5 countries don't recognize Kosovo. And it puts Kosovo politicians even in a more complicated situation to prove that you can do the things and you can bring your country to the European Union. And just to say that arguments that neighboring country is doing even worse are not bringing Kosovo closer to the European Union. Now, what we very much expect from Kosovo is first to have a partner. And yes, we have a partner, the president, but we need also executive power. So we need to partner with whom to talk about the next steps, how to move closer to the European Union. So we hope very much that the government will be formed as soon as possible. Closures of the institutions in the north. Again, the European Union has made its position clear, privately, officially, and publicly. Measures against Kosovo. EU High Representative Kaja Kallas was here just a few days ago, and she announced that the gradual lifting of the measures against Kosovo has started. But to move forward, we need clearly very good and close cooperation with the authorities here. One topic what everybody talks, but it's not so preferred topic raised by the politicians here in Kosovo is the association of Serb municipalities. But EU position is clear again, it must be done. It must be done, and better to do it sooner than later to move forward. So that, to conclude, my message is we in the EU are ready to move forward, and we hope very much that Kosovo will do the same.
And it's indeed a great honor and pleasure for me to be here today at this important and timely, indeed, event, which the Netherlands Embassy is proud to support through our MATRA funding. And although this project is nearing its conclusion, I believe it continues to hold immense importance for Kosovo's journey towards the European Union. And I'm sure it has contributed to make significant steps forward in advancing transparency, accountability, and civic engagement, all key pillars for a stronger and more inclusive EU integration process. I would also like to take a moment to thank all of you for being here today. We gather at an important moment in Kosovo's European journey, where the path is shaped by the aspirations of the Kosovar people. But what is crucial now is to demonstrate dedication and ensure that the new government is formed, so that determination for EU integration can take shape through concrete results. High Representative Kallas, already mentioned, last week brought good news about the gradual lifting of the EU measures, as was requested by all Kosovo institutions and political parties. And as EU, we need to see now actions which do contribute to further alignment with European values and standards. Allow me to also draw attention to the European Growth Plan already mentioned, another major opportunity for Kosovo's gradual integration into the EU, an opportunity that now awaits Kosovo's concrete actions. Kosovo has no time to lose. At this point, as I already noted, the key priority is the formation of the government and the immediate commencement of their work. I would like to take this opportunity also to recognize the fact that, yes, over the years, Kosovo has made progress in aligning itself with European values and standards, from institution building to advancing democratic practices. But the pace of progress is determined by the pace of reforms. A central pillar of these reforms is the rule of law. A European Kosovo demands a justice system that is independent, efficient, and trusted by all its citizens. The fight against corruption, transparency and accountability should become the standards. And in public administration, Kosovo should build merit-based, citizen-centered institutions that serve impartially and operate without political interference. These and all the other 35 chapters that are part of the alignment cannot succeed in isolation. Cooperation with the region and the international partners is essential. Political trust, economic integration, and shared commitments will bring Kosovo closer to the EU. Dear guests, to conclude, the Netherlands, as one of the founding members of the EU, remains committed to continue to support Kosovo with the necessary reforms and to facilitate the approximation process to the European Union. We expect political will in the reform process, both from the government, parliament, business community, and civil society, but foremost to actually implement the reforms that have been agreed. For the Netherlands, alignment with EU policies and implementation of the Stabilization Association Agreement remains a priority, as it will help Kosovo on its path to EU, but also to respond to the needs and aspirations of all citizens. I would like to thank you for being here, for your attention, and I'm looking forward to further discussions. Thank you.